So, with respect to the call for an outside day on Wednesday, it's important to first have a little bit of background about how markets move. Markets are either in balance or trend. And so the market is always trying to find the next fairest price, and that might be influenced by economic information or information about a company, maybe its earnings, what have you. And so the market, you'll see, will find these areas of balance here and then trend. Here's another nice balance and then trend. Balance, same spot as over here. Trend, breakdown, back test, resumption lower. Here we balance in the same spot again. And that is also common to see, not the scope here, but that we very often will find these similar balance ranges over time. Now, when price begins to trend, again, as we had this breakout here, by definition, there is not agreement in what that fairest price is. We're trying to find that, right? So sellers might believe that prices are unreasonably high, and buyers might feel that they're unreasonably low. And so you get some disagreement. And so at the beginning of trend, in particular, when determining whether there's going to be a real breakout or a false breakout, that's going to depend on how much disagreement there is in terms of that breakout. As we come to the potentially an end of trend, as we start to maybe try to find that balance, you can also often see some disagreement as you try to identify that fairest price. And so in this example, I'll drill down into the 5 and show you what that disagreement looks like. But we got this nice breakout and trend for a couple of days, and now we have started to sort of balance again in this new range. So how is that disagreement expressed in price? You'll have a lot of people that will say that broadening formations or megaphones are exceedingly uncommon, and that's very wrong. You're just not looking at the right time frames. Anytime you see an outside bar of any kind, or even a compound outside bar, which might simply be a candle time frame that your broker doesn't have, then you have disagreement in price between buyers and sellers, and you have a broadening formation. You can see here that on Friday we broke into this range. We make a higher high, and then into Monday, we start to make some lower lows. We also then start to make some higher highs. Okay, so here is sort of the top of a megaphone here. Here's maybe the bottom. That's just one example. You drill in a little bit closer. You've got Tuesday, and you can see Tuesday, we've got lower lows. We have higher highs. That's also a broadening formation. It may be a part of the same one. It might be a different one. You can see these all over the place on all kinds of different time frames, but that is what they are representing, is disagreement between buyers and sellers and what is the fairest price. You have buyers that are willing to buy higher and higher. You have sellers that are willing to sell lower and lower. And so you may even see this on what appears to be a perfect balance day, where the volume profile has a nice perfect point of control in the center with a great value area high, value area low, might even be equal. But then within the day, you have people that are willing to buy above the existing at the time value area high, and you may have sellers willing to sell below the value area of low within the day, both of which are horrendous ideas. But again, that's an expression of that disagreement in price. So anytime that I see that, especially at the beginning of a balance or at the end of a balance, and I start to see that disagreement maybe become more and more pronounced, I am looking for one side to win the next day potentially, and in expressing their views. Now, in this case, because everything else is bullish and trend, I actually would have preferred that we came down to 65 first in this day, tested the lows and then taken out the highs of Tuesday. Probably would have been more willing to take size there. But as it was, we just play the hand that we're dealt. We got, this gap up. We tested the top of the balance that we are now trying to trade within. That failed. Bad spot to be initiating longs up here. And then the point at which we trade inside the prior day's candle. It's looking really good for the outside day, or at least a significant retracement of that day. So that's it. I just wanted to keep it short. And basically just point out that, again, identifying whether you're within a balance or whether you are trending and trying to find that fairest price. By definition, if you are trending, there is no agreement about what is fair. And so good opportunity to look for and play these broadening formations and take advantage of that. And I have seen a pretty decent correlation, at least when I've seen this pattern play out on what appears to be a balanced day otherwise on the volume profile. When it's at the end of potentially a trend as we're trying to balance, or when it's right at the beginning of trend when we're trying to decide if we're going to accept a breakout. I see this happen quite a bit. So yeah, hopefully this helped for some of the more auditory and visual learners as opposed to reading a tweet. And I'm going to cut it short at that tonight, guys.